What is going on, all-terrain nation? Whether it be two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, or all these kick-ass pickup trucks I do love to drive. This is your all-terrain nation, and I'm your host, David Boyd, alongside co-host Miss Kelly Boyd.
Jazz hands.
That's right, jazz hands. And somehow we're twinsies and didn't even
we didn't even plan it. We dressed separately, and here we are.
But I swear we're allowed to, we wear different clothes. I swear to God, we do.
We actually planned specifically when we're on like press trips not to wear the same shirts.
Yes, but I hope everybody is having a happy Thursday. I have to learn to say that again. Happy Thursday to all. And if you're new to the channel, we've on the happy hour, normally on the Bronco Talk stuff, we if you're not subscribed, you can ask questions. But happy hour, you got to be subscribed. So if you're wondering why there's no button down there for you guys to chat, because you got to be subscribed to this one. So
ooh, savage.
I know. Well, there's always the unsubscribe button if you didn't like it. But give us a chance. Come on, give us a chance. But so this is the happy hour, first of 2023, and we've changed things up. We did one, I think, in November last year, where I brought you in, and we were changing some stuff about it. But I figured since Kelly was on the press trips with me to begin with, she might as well be on the press show with me as well. So Kelly, officially, welcome to the happy hour. And my wedding ring's not on, but I would say welcome to my life. But you have yours on. We're good. We're covered. Anyway,
isn't it funny how that works? Like the wives always have the rings on and the husbands don't always have the rings on.
Well, Chubby Dave's in the house, and Chubby Dave's ring's not fitting very well.
In true fashion, I probably couldn't get it off even if I tried. So.
Anyways, this is a Ring Nation. This is All Terrain Nation. But tonight I want to go over the Chicago Auto Show just a little bit. And we're going to talk about some mid-sized pickup trucks because Kelly, being kind of new to the press stuff, she doesn't know completely everything yet. So I kind of want to show her some things, get her ideas about it. I think we're going to see some really cool stuff at the Chicago Auto Show. I'm pretty sure we're going to see the Ram Revolution.
Yeah,
we did that live stream about that, and that was pretty cool. Obviously, Nissan will have something there. Toyota seems to like the Chicago Auto Show for some reason. They always have a pretty nice display. Oh, let's see. Jeep Stellantis always takes up a big section of the Chicago
massive off-road event or off-road track usually.
Yeah, they'll have Camp Jeep there. And Subaru and a bunch of other people will have some fun stuff.
I'm excited to see Subarus, to be honest with you.
That was a surprise for you when we were there in 20.
That was a very much surprise. And what's interesting is it they almost made it like, I don't think there was scent to it, but you almost felt like you were in the mountains. Yeah, the temperature was different in the area. It was really cool.
Yeah, we'll definitely bring you guys a bunch of coverage from the Chicago Auto Show, which is only a few weeks away, Kelly.
Yeah, it's like 3 weeks.
The auto show season is kicking back in, and we plan to go full force at it this year. We're going to try to hit as many as we can. Obviously, we want to do our adventure stuff as well, but the press stuff is our bread and butter. So anyways, welcome to All Terrain Nation. Once again, if you're new to this, I want to kind of introduce myself. My name is David Boyd. I've been covering the auto industry since 2008, somewhere in there.
Wow, you're old.
More formally, I've been covering it officially like this since 15, I guess. So anyways, that's our background. We smash that subscribe button if you want to join in on all the fun. We kind of do things different though. We're not your normal, I'm not going to be hardcore news. I'm not going to know every damn detail about the minute of the size of the radio button, all that stuff. We're enthusiasts of automobiles. First and foremost, Kelly. I mean, we love automobiles, right?
Yeah, we do. It's actually in our blood. Like for me, it's really in my blood because my parents are General Motors retirees. And so really from the point of birth, I was enthralled in the GM, which is funny because we don't have any GM vehicles
right now
in our driveway
right
now. But just
never know.
Just put it out
one
there.
Of these that we talk about tonight, we might actually be able to have in the driveway soon. See, we're not going to do the normal introductions like we do on the show, Kelly, because for one, it just takes too long. But we will bring your questions or comments up here. And first off, what do we got going on here, Kelly?
Zachary Rogers, thank you for that super chat, sir. We appreciate it. Speaking of mid-sized trucks, thank you so much for all your help, which led me to get my 2023 Frontier Pro 4X. Looking forward to the new content you guys have coming soon.
That's right, Zachary, and you guys are welcome to reach out. Zach emailed me. I want to say email. I can't remember which, but he was debating between if I remember right, it's the Toyota and the Frontier. I forget. We were going on and on for a couple messages about this, and we looked at the best bargain, And I really felt like the Nissan, for his budget, was probably the best. You got the most truck for that, though. Are there better ones out there? Who's to say? I mean, I hate to say this as someone who covers the industry. A lot of these vehicles are they're kind of all on the same level anymore.
Yeah.
The days of like the 70s or the 60s, where one you were going to get 10,000 miles out of, and the next, if you got 50, you were lucky. Those are kind of over. Now they all individually have little flaws, but I think overall, I think the automotive industry is building a pretty good vehicle right now.
Yeah, because they all kind of keep their thumb on the pulse of what the folks want, what the industry is doing. Yes, some are going to be behind the others a little bit, but they're pretty consistent on what's being delivered in the midsize market.
And I think tech ultimately is where you either shine or don't now, because we've always had a 4-wheel drive truck in our fleet. Always. I never, whether the conditions are right here in Middle Tennessee for snow, ice, whatever, we've just always wanted a 4-wheel drive vehicle. And 4-wheel drive, I hate to say is 4-wheel drive anymore. Now, some of them there's features they have, like crawl control, stuff like that, which you've gotten to when we were in where was it, Fort Worth last time. You got to mess with for the first time some of the crawl control features that I know Toyota offered and Ram offered. So you were interested in that kind of stuff. But other than that, I think tech is now where it's going to sell vehicles.
Oh, 100%. And I would say that that's the big difference that we see between vehicles at this point too, because like you said, the crawl control on the Toyota was a significantly different than any type of similar feature that is on any of the other vehicles that we got into.
Yeah. So, first off, I have to say congratulations to Peugeot. He said he's about to retire. Where was
I think
that?
he said 28 weeks.
So,
Congratulations.
and thank you for your service, sir. We do greatly appreciate you. So first off, Kelly, I want to get into the Chicago Auto Show just a little bit. Now, we went to our first Chicago Auto Show in 2020, right before the pandemic.
Yes.
At the time, I think there was one person in Chicago had the vid. And,
and I had a friend that told me, it's like, if you come back with that from Chicago, I'm going to disown you, essentially.
Was she Jar Jar Binks all of a sudden from Star Wars? I'm going to
Yes.
disown you.
yes. But yeah, we were there the very beginning of February, and then the world shut down in March, mid-March.
Yes.
So
yes,
yeah, it was pretty crisp, pretty quick.
We had a good time. We'd covered obviously auto shows here locally, but that was our first kind of one of the major auto shows to be at and be a part of. And other than press events that I've gotten to do, that was an eye-opening experience for us, and we can't wait to cover that again, because at the time when we went there in 2020, I was still covering Nissan pretty heavy.
Yes.
We went to everybody's booth and went to the press conferences and stuff. Toyota served us some champagne, which was nice. Toyota, thank you. Very classy. They had a retiree at the time. I think it was their last auto show. But we are excited to be able to really go all in with what Ford will have there. I remember they had the Ford GT there in the carbon fiber edition. It was the first time bringing that out, and it was their auto show display they were showing. And that car is probably by far my favorite. That's I want to say it's still in the opening of the show, because that's probably my most favorite American sports car right now. Like I mean, obviously it's unobtainable for us,
right?
But I think that one, for me to get to see it in person, especially in that carbon fiber.
We're talking about the C8.
No, I'm talking about the Ford GT.
Oh, the Ford GT
was amazing. Toyota had an amazing booth as far as the Supra was still pretty new. A lot of their products, obviously trucks. Seems like Chicago is a big truck auto show. And,
yeah, for sure.
Between that and then you have towards the end of the year, you have the Texas State Fair, which is always big, heavy with trucks. We're pretty truck centric. We will talk about cars, but I love mid-sized trucks more than anything. I like a full-size truck. You seem to lean more towards, when we had our Titan.
Yeah.
You seem to kind of lean towards that a lot more, I think, than probably the Frontier.
Yeah, because it was just more comfortable. Like the full size to mid size does make quite a bit of difference in the size and the comfort of it from that perspective. And honestly, with the backup cameras and everything these days, it's very easy to drive a full size truck comparatively. It used to be you were driving a tank and you could tell that somebody didn't know how to drive their full size truck. But if you don't know how to use your full size truck, you're just not using your cameras. Well, I'm just going to put it out there.
I'd go to park this damn thing, and I've had full size trucks, but for some reason she thought I was not doing it right.
He wasn't.
I didn't drive it as much as you did.
I know he wasn't as good of a driver as I was.
But especially when you're used to the little mid-sized truck, you get in the big fold.
Yeah, you're driving you're driving a semi truck versus a little go-kart. But yeah,
anyways,
from that perspective, I like the full size trucks. Like I like the TRX a lot. I like, the Titan. I like the full sizers.
Yeah. So
there's going to be some kind of joke in the comments. I just know it.
Oh man. But so that's a little bit. Like I said, I know Ram will have a big display there. Chevrolet had a pretty good display, but I don't remember it being outstanding at the Chicago Auto Show. A lot of these manufacturers too are at the Chicago.
Who?
Chevrolet.
Chevy. Yeah.
But a lot of these manufacturers are moving away from the auto show circuit, and they're doing it themselves. They're bringing press in. Of course, Toyota has a nice place down in Texas that they bring the press in for that,
which is unfortunate for us though, because we're not big enough for them to really kind of invite us to those things. So
smash that like button for us.
So the subscribe button, sir,
and the like button too. But this is what you can expect. Obviously, there's some people who know us in here that know we'll poke at each other back and forth. But but the Chicago Auto Show, I'm going to bring their website up. Let me pop this up real quick.
Yeah, so they had GM had an okay display, but there was nothing fancy about it last year or when we went. And I do remember that was like the first year of the tailgates having steps in them, because I remember you showing me that and going, man, that's pretty cool. But then you also have to watch out for the hitch. So
yes. So as you can see, this is the Chicago. If I could talk to the Chicago Auto Show's main page here, and a lot of press times. This is not at press time, but this is, you remember me and you, I think, sat in that car. We got to mess around with that car a little bit in 20 because the C8s were still pretty new then, which was nice. We got to mess around that. There's always press events before this. We attended the Nissan launching, not of the new Frontier, of the old Frontier with a new motor, which was kind of
the million mile one too,
which was kind of a disappointment, but Nissan was just trying to create some buzz with their upcoming Frontier. But so the Chicago Auto Show like this, we kind of missed out last year because of the vid thing. We Chicago last year for us, they put some flags up. Well, you got to have a mask on and you got to have your interviews scheduled. And I do not like doing that personally. I like to walk. I see something I'm curious about. I want to talk to the manufacturers about and go from there. I don't want to have to. I mean, we plan this a little bit, but I don't have to plan every damn part of the event. And then, you're in a mask. And then when we saw footage from that last year, I'm talking with old Estrathal and Jill and them. Nobody was really wearing a mask, and they were just getting in and out of cars as they pleased. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? the FOMO was real for us. Tim's always like, FOMO is real. And for that, it was real. But
it's a true story.
We are curious about what you're interested in as part of tonight's show is, so we can kind of guide our coverage of the Chicago Auto Show. What are you guys interested in that you know of right now? Now, I do think that we will see, I have no press release on this at all, but I really do think that we're going to see the next Ford Ranger pop up. And why I think it is because I know GM has scheduled press drives for the new Colorado coming up in February. We'll see the new Colorado at this. Ford does have the new Ranger is scheduled to go into full production at the end of May. So they're not going to wait till the last minute. They're not going to do what they did with Bronco and wait a year and kind of dick people around. And they've learned that, they've licked those wounds. Yeah. But I think the moment is right for Ford to do that. And I think when they launch it, obviously we'll get a video and stuff. Once again, I have no press releases of anything on this. This is just pure speculation. But it makes sense that it's the big auto show to kick off the year because New York would be next. And New York's not really a truck-centric auto show. It's down, it's in New York City. I wanted to say downtown, but there is no real downtown to New York.
Is it at Madison Square?
No, I forget where they put it at. But it doesn't make sense to wait that long for the truck, and unless Ford is just completely doing this by themselves without any auto show, push, because the next one, I want to say, what would be the next auto show?
New York is April.
Yeah, so I want to say Detroit's at the back half of the year now, or did they? Detroit auto show's been like weird.
Let me look because I don't know what it is now. Used to be January because we froze our Katukuses off going when we were kids,
which is the Super Bowl of auto shows, and then you get into the you would get into Chicago and so on. But, you know, right when COVID hit is when they decided they wanted to move it to, I think it was July. Well, then that got pushed, and they're trying to do it more outdoors.
Detroit's September still.
So it is September of 23.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a long period of auto shows, you know, LA auto shows, November generally.
Mm-hmm.
So the summertime, there's kind of going to be
sped out pretty good.
Yeah, there's going to be kind of a lull in it. So I can see for Ford wanting to release their vehicle then. So let's start with Ford. And what I'm going to bring up right now is the current Ranger. So let's bring this up.
And the New York Auto Show is at the Javits Convention Center.
So this is your 2023 Ford Ranger. Now, Kelly, being new to some of this, you do not pay attention to mid-sized trucks like I do. So last night we were discussing kind of what the show was going to be about, and you thought this was the new truck.
And that just the Ranger was coming out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or the Raptor version.
Yeah, that's what I mean, Raptor.
Because that's all I talk about right here.
Legit. It's all he talks about.
Screen is a Raptor.
Dudes, it's bad.
Yeah. If I could find a little Raptor car truck up here for the Ranger, I'd be all happy. But so this is what the Australians, this is a more modern, a slightly tweaked US version of it, but this is what the Australians got years ago. We finally got it in the States, and Ford knew they had this T6 platform coming out that they were going to build their new Ranger on. They're building the Bronco on the same platform. Let's get the Bronco launch going. This truck was at launch of Bronco in 21, what it had only been out for 3 years, I think. So it was still pretty new. There was no reason to suddenly refresh, but its time has come. You know, Ford CEO has already said last year, hey, we're getting the Raptor, and expect for 23 to get the Ranger. Now, it will be a 24 model, so don't expect the new Ranger till June, July, somewhere in there. Just like my Bronco people, just like what you remember at the launch of the Bronco, except a little smoother. But you can expect, I think, the same the way they've done it. So they'll be.
You're talking 24s?
Yes, they'll be 24s though. So it's going to be a longer 24 build period because they won't switch till late September, early October for the 25.
I was going to say, wait.
In 24.
Wait.
Yeah.
So June of 23,
you'll get the 24 model.
You get the 24 model, and then 25 will be June of 24?
No, 25 will be probably August, September of 24.
Oh, okay.
Because you were a bit longer.
Okay, because you were throwing me off because you were like, and then you'll have the 25s in September.
Well,
so I was thinking 23
Bronco,
and 24.
They kind of effed it up because they should have called the Broncos 22s.
100%.
They should have called it a 21 at all. And I think that would have helped smooth over everything. So that's why I think they're going to just go ahead and do a 24. It'll be an early 24. They have precedence at this. They did it with the 97 F-150s. Came out in like 96 and a half. They were half models, and nobody ever bitched about it. So, but I'm curious what you guys think of the old Ranger. Now you get one. You don't get many options in this truck, and I do know we're going to get some cool trims in the next Ranger, which is
the
nice.
Splash package.
Yeah, the splash package is funny there. There is the FX4. I feel like they have it's a Tremor with the FX4 package. I feel like they have too many silly off-road options. I wish they would limit it down. Give us the ultimate version of the Raptor. Give us just a normal XLT four-wheel drive version, and maybe a Tremor. I mean, I think they're going to do a Tremor.
Those tires look so tiny on it.
Yes, this is not a very good version of that. But here's the pure Tremor, which I think is a very nice vehicle. And,
tires are better on that.
Yeah, you're getting a little bit better off-road tire on this. And here is the STX. But I'm excited for it because Ford decided in 2011 we're done with mid-sized trucks, and Toyota and Nissan were over there like, hey, we'll carry that banner. But so let's get into now, Kelly. I want to bring into what's going to be the replacement. So we're going to have to fly down to the land down under to do this one, but I think we got just enough time. So here is the next generation Ford Ranger. Now, this is the Australian version of this thing. You can tell by the way they're standing. They're standing backwards.
Shut up.
You can just tell they're standing.
No, you can tell on one of the pictures when you come up here.
But I think this is a good looking truck. Where are you at with the what you saw the old truck versus the kind of newer look?
I think it looks better, but I do think it looks very Maverick-like to me. Like it has the front end of a Maverick a bit.
Those kind of running lights and stuff.
Yeah.
A little bit, but I think that's a design trait in their truck series because you look at the F-150, they have basically not identical, but they do have that kind of outline, that C outline. But overall, I mean, where are you at with this truck?
Overall, I think it looks a lot better than the new one. You know, it is more aggressive. I know we're not comparing, you all know how I love to say it. We're not comparing apples to apples necessarily because we're not necessarily looking at the same model, but the tires look better on it. It looks more aggressive. You know how I feel about the smart sport bars. They work for me sometimes, but not so much others. And
well, that's a big thing in Australia.
I haven't decided if I like these yet.
That's for whatever reason the sport bars they love those in Australia. So I don't know that we'll see. I think we'll see something, but not completely like the Australian version here. Now Europe's already starting to get their versions, if I remember right. So basically, it's the U.S. market is late to this, and it kind of pisses me off a little bit because Ford's a
You're
US,
so jelly.
No, well, I am jelly, but Ford's a U.S. brand. You know, these are global companies. I don't like to call them U.S. companies anymore, but you know, the pickup truck's very American, and we're kind of getting it feels like the leftovers. Now,
well, but think about it though, is that our market is extremely hard to please. So think about it. If they take it overseas, they work out some of the kinks because I think they're a little, maybe I'm wrong with that, but I do feel like the overseas countries are a little
maybe
less.
Let the smaller markets work out some of the
Yeah,
kinks.
kind of work out some of the kinks. So I think that that's really kind of what happens here, whether it's the reason for it or not. But I think that that's kind of the move that would make sense to me as to why they would go international versus at home.
Right. Now, if you look, they got mini trims here. They got an XL, an XLS, XLT, Sport, Wild Track, Platinum, and Raptor.
And don't be surprised. Sport is not like a Bronco Sport.
No. But
not.
We're going to get an XL, XLT. We'll get not a, I don't know if they'll call it a Sport, but we're going to get all these trims. And what I'm hearing is we're actually going to get the Wild Track version too, which is kind of cool. But I don't know that we're going to get the Platinum right now. And I want to click the Platinum, maybe.
And yes, we do. We have a we have a spot.
Yes.
For a Ranger Raptor.
Yes. And
so
we currently have a Chevrolet Avalanche. I mean, the Silverado EV reservation, though. I think that's going to go bye-bye because GM has been so quiet on that. And honestly, they're only doing for that truck. They're only doing industrial stuff at first, and then they're going to release the RST, which I have no interest in the RST. I want just a middle ground pickup truck, and I don't want to wait another year and a half for one of those. So I don't know what we're going to do with that reservation just yet. But here is the Platinum. Now this one's interesting to me because we all know the Ford Platinum pickup trucks, the F-150 versions are super nice.
Posh.
Yes. And the idea, like mid-size trucks used to be thought of as just like, they just do work and that's all they're good for. Much like a pickup truck in general.
Yeah.
But the midsize have sort of carried over that. Well, it's just a small truck that just, you know, I think Maverick's shown that people are interested in having a nice smaller truck, but they want all the features. And as I said earlier, tech. They're going to want nice leather seats. You're going to want platinum in those leather seats. You're going to want all the bells and whistles. And while I don't think that we'll get it initially, I do think maybe the year after we get a platinum version. But you know, already midsize trucks are $50,000. Could you see paying $65,000 for a midsize truck?
No, not at all. I go full size all day for 65.
I would too, but you're not going to get a platinum for that.
That's true, but still, yeah, I'd go full size. You know, you're starting to see, and I hate to bring gender into it, but you're seeing a lot more women driving trucks and things like that too. You will see a lot in the full size trucks, but I think with these more posh things in the trucks, I think you're going to see more women that are going to be skipping the SUVs and kind of jumping into the trucks because they want the versatility of having the truck. Because it can still be a mom vehicle if you've got a truck. Just put a cover.
Tonneau covers now are so good about keeping water
out
that.
I mean, this would work for us. Throwing Sid's softball stuff in the back, if we had a tonneau cover on it, and when you have the nice plushness of the inside.
And we do, from having an SUV or off-road Bronco SUV versus having the Gladiator, we do find ourselves throwing the softball equipment or the whatever gear like that in the other truck, truck versus the
Bronco
more, which is
because it allows us to put our wagon in there versus.
Yes.
And honestly, when you're done with the ball field, you're done with the ball field,
Yes.
and you're ready to go home.
Now the wild track of this thing is going to be somewhere in between off-road and just kind of, I don't know.
Sport?
I don't know how. Yeah, kind of. It's going to be a little fun looking off-road vehicle. We'll say that.
So do you think it'll be like a souped up Sport essentially?
I think so. I think it's going to be a plushed out XLT is what I think kind of it'll be. But the big thing for all these is we're going to finally get some engine options in the Ranger. Well, currently you only get the 2.3 in it. Makes good horsepower. It's decent. I know they brag about the torque, but that's only because there's a turbo under that thing. But I do think we're going to see that 2.3 back in the Ranger, but I think we're going to see the 2.7 in as well, because the European and Australian versions are getting the 3.0. So
Wow.
they're getting it's not a turbo. It's just a normal
Straight 3.0.
Just a V6 engine in that thing. But it doesn't make sense for MAP, who will build this, to have another engine option to have to assemble into these things. So I think we'll get the 2.7 in that. And obviously they're going to bring out the big boy, and this is the Halo vehicle. This is what's going to bring a lot of attention to the brand, is the Raptor version of this thing. Now, I cannot wait to drive this thing, get a hold of this truck. It looks fun to me, and Kelly's always liked to wheel SUVs.
Look at those tires on it.
Oh, yeah, it's a 33-inch tire. I wish they would bring a 35 in this, though.
Yeah, they look a lot more aggressive, though.
Yes, but it would compete a little bit with the normal Raptor, which is starting to if you get this in there, and then you've got the Raptor R, it's starting to make the Raptor version kind of But I think this is a good looking truck, and I think that this is going to bring a lot of attention to this truck. And I think what this truck forced other brands to do is it's going to force them to have to take it to the next level. Because look, you can see the digital. This is all digital screen, just like the Bronco,
which
Raptor.
is what the Bronco should have done year one.
Yes, but you're getting a plushed out digital screen. You're going to get. My understanding is the interior of the U.S. specs of all the Rangers is going to be a lot more plush than what the other brands are getting. So they understand, us in the United States, us fat cats here, we want things. We're past the point of working these trucks. We want to take vacations in them. So I'm very excited, though. Obviously, Sync 4 is a big thing for them right now. I think there might be a Sync 5 coming, which would be a next step up. Mm-hmm. I mean, I like their multi-entertainment system. I think it works great, but there's a few bugs that I could see them fixing. But that is the Ford brand, as we'll take a look at there. And I have to say, once again, I think the Raptor is going to push the other brands. They have to do something, and especially this brand right here, which is owned the market. They've owned this. The Toyota Tacoma, for whatever reason, this thing could be 20 years old. People would give Nissan such shit for having a truck 10, 12 years old.
100%.
Toyota somehow could get away with it. Now, this truck's not that old, but it feels that old. You get in one of these things. We test drove one this summer.
Yes.
I like it. I think it looks good. I think that front end of this thing still looks aggressive. And then you put a little bit more knobby tire around this thing. It just looks mean. Now, this is the TRW Pro version that we're seeing here. So it's the top of the top. But interior-wise, it's just dated. The seating position, you sit weird in the thing. You sit like an old import truck. It just, for whatever reason, Toyota hasn't give you a more upright seating position.
And if I recall correctly, it has a manual transfer case, right? On this one, or no?
Well, it's electronic. It is electronic. It's not the old school.
So it wasn't as on the 4Runner.
Right. But the you are getting a lot of crawl control features, though. So they're kind of in the middle of, like, they did bring a lot of these features to first at the midsize market, which was when this truck came out, that was big news, all these crawl control features, and everybody, all my press friends were going nuts about that. But this thing is starting to be a dinosaur. And it's hard to believe that the next Toyota is still about, I think we're going to see it sometime midsummer, late summer. But it's still basically a year away from us getting a. Yeah,
there's rumblings of it coming out this summer, so I anticipate that we'll see it spring maybe.
Right, and but I think we're going to see it. I don't know that. I don't think production will start till late summer.
They might start ordering in the summer.
They're not. So the imports don't do a lot of that pre-order stuff. You can get in, call your dealership when the new ones come up and try to get. But they don't do a lot of because you don't get to choose a lot of options on these vehicles. where Ford, Chevrolet, and them, they have all these packages that you can choose from. A lot of times these are just come as they are. Like they have trim levels, but as far as that trim gets you this package. So
so dime a dozen.
Yeah, kind of. But Toyota's been smart about it. Obviously, this is that orange color that I fell in love with on the. We did a review of the. I don't know if we've released the
It's
truck
pearly, like it's a pearly color.
I think we did release the Tundra version in this that we did of the TRD.
We did
Pro.
the CR. I know we did the Sequoia.
Yeah, and the Sequoia. I love this color. She's not an orange person, and
I actually like this color.
But Toyota's been smart about going. Well, we may not upgrade everything as fast, but paint is pretty easy to change over.
I'll be honest, the color on the Tacoma, like seeing it on the Tacoma, I'm not as big of a fan. Or seeing it on,
Tundra.
seeing it on the seeing it on the Tacoma.
No,
I'm talking about this one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Like seeing it on the Tacoma versus the Sequoia, I'm not as huge of a fan on the Tacoma in person as I am of the Sequoia. It looked better on the Sequoia to me.
We did that lime green when we test drove the Toyotas. Was that lime green?
Yes,
I like.
That's right.
But I could see floating around this. But once again, Toyota's pretty smart about hey, we're not going to adapt as fast as the other brands might have to. But guess what? We're still selling over 200,000 of these things a year. It's ridiculous how many they sell this thing. Of course, the Overland community, with that being 10 years, seems like old now, really helped this thing. But it shows the inside of this thing. The shifter, please, Toyota, the next one. Don't do that.
Oh my gosh, it's terrible.
That shifter is just awful.
If you have never driven a Toyota, oh my gosh, you have to at least try it once and see how miserable it is.
I think when it came out, and I think 16s when it came out, I think that was kind of cool. But now I just need a more, for whatever reason.
Let's see if I can pause it. Oh, of course I can't. Dang. Ah.
Get his finger.
Jerk.
And
no.
Nope. There you go. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, Kelly. But this dinosaur is about to be put to roost. And I have some spy photos that we posted up about 4 months ago or so. But the next version of this vehicle.
Don't stop it yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just had it paused.
The next version of this vehicle is going to look like a small version of the Tundra, and that sort of disappoints me slightly. I like mid-sized trucks looking like their own thing, and the big boys having their own style.
Yeah.
Now, it's smart business why they do that, because it is a well, if you can't afford this price point, let's put you down to the lower price, and you're kind of getting the same thing. I totally understand it from a sales point, but as Kelly, as you can see here, Kelly's worked hard to get this.
I worked very hard to get that shifter in.
It's a weird notch
so
system.
As you see it is exactly how it is. Yeah. So it's not a straight shifter like we see in our Broncos or whatever vehicle you may drive. The Nissans we've had, the Gladiators. This is, from our experience, this is exclusive to Toyota, and it really does move over, and you're just like, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah, so I'm kind of excited for what Toyota is going to do. I really am. I think ultimately you're looking at a 4-cylinder turbo for that truck now, where you got a 4.0 or 3.5 V6 in this thing right now. It's still puny on horsepower. I want to say it's in the 260s, something like that, if I remember right, maybe 280s. But for horsepower of these things, it's no bueno anymore. And
no bueno, you say?
I do say that. But ultimately, Toyota is going to bring that little Turbo 4 out. It's probably going to be a hybrid system, much like the Tundra, which is not a system for miles. It's not. Their hybrid system's more about torque than it is fuel economy. So we'll see on that. A lot of speculation. I do think, though, Kelly, I think Nissan right now has the horsepower battle for mid-sized trucks. They at 310 horsepower. Their torque is still a little bit low. It's like 281, something like that. Compared to when you start turboing these things, you get those torque numbers way up, and torque's important for trucks. It just is for polling and stuff like that. So I think Toyota is going to need to come out at minimum 300 horsepower in this thing. And honestly, I think if they're not 320, 330, they're going to be late to the game, because you think about the Ford Ranger, if it does get the 2.7, say a twin turbo 2.7, I don't think they detune it. I think you're going to see a 330 horsepower Ranger. And I do think that the next Raptor is going to be about 420, roughly what the Raptor version of the Bronco is. So trucks they better step it up, man. I remember I remember them breaking. So my dad had a C10 Chevrolet. Well, it was a Silverado. But I remember the 200 horsepower in a V8 barrier was like, oh my God, if we ever break that, that's ridiculous. And now, these probably go-kart engines could do this. Like the tiniest little single piston could get ultimate high-end horsepower out of these things. So trucks they gotta bring it. Let's see. Peugeot says, just remember the Raptor is a dinosaur too. I'm not sure. I'll definitely go back and I'm not ignoring the conversation, by the way, but we'll go back to that. So next up, let's bring in where to go. Let's bring in the new kid on the block. This truck has been it only took almost 16 years to get this pickup truck, and then it's a good truck. We did a review of this truck. We got some incredible fuel economy out of this truck.
Yes.
I think it was where is it? 26.3 miles per gallon is what we got out of this truck on our Hyperloop. It is the Nissan Frontier. Now, I've been a Nissan fanboy for a long time. I like the underdog vehicles. I like the underdog in a movie. So it's kind of where
he does have a little bit of a heart.
Yes. Well, a little bit for vehicles. But I really do like this. Now they put a new engine in this thing. They went from a 4-liter down to a 3.8-liter engine in this thing. Still naturally aspirated. They don't need turbos. 310 horsepower in this. Towing 6720, which is decent. I want to say really they need to start getting into the 7,500 range for towing, which once again, for a mid-sized truck back in the day, that would have been for a big truck. That would have been great. But
right.
The Nissan Frontier, like was mentioned earlier, there's a lot of value in this truck. And one of the cool things about this truck, I said earlier, people want tech. This truck you don't get a lot of tech. They have their Nissan Connect system that they use for their infotainment and stuff, which is a good system. It's not bad by any means, but you're not getting all the crawl control features for 4-wheel drive. You're not going to get all these fancy, the tacks. I mean, it's a decent tack in this thing. It's digital, but it's not, I mean, I said part of it is digital. They're not doing some wrappered out version of this thing. They're just giving you an honest pickup truck. And the thing with Nissan is they like to discount a little bit. So when we get out of this, and I think we're kind of coming out of this, MSRP world, I think you will start seeing some of these trucks like Nissan start to discount their vehicle a little bit. And Kelly, we did time in this thing. Where are you at with this truck, especially compared to we've owned the last generation of the Frontier?
Even though it doesn't have the extreme tech that we've seen in other vehicles, I am still a fan of the Frontier, even this model. They did a good job with the screens, kind of updating those within. Overall, it drives like a car. Like it is smooth when you're driving it. Great MPGs in it for a truck. Overall, I was a fan. I would drive it again.
I think the paint choices they've done, some similarities. That the gray that are showing there are Battleship gray. It's definitely a Toyota's used that color a little bit, and there are some similarities to the Tacoma a little bit, just ever so slightly.
It's good to see them branching out.
Yes,
finally.
I do know that they benchmarked the Tacoma when they were building this truck. I have pictures of
it being in the back.
Yeah, in Nissan HQ of where they were benchmarking it, and I think, I initially said there's no way the next Frontier will look like the Titan, and I've had to eat crow on that a little bit because it definitely has a little bit of Titan. The way they do the windows, kind of like the F-150s, where the driver's window raises up a little bit.
Yep.
Definitely a little bit of Titan in there. When you get on the inside of this thing, you definitely feel like you're in a smaller Titan, which bothers me a little bit. I love the Nissan brand. I'm very connected to the Nissan brand, being here in Middle Tennessee. But I really do think that they need to step up their interiors and get away. The Titan doesn't sell. No way around it. I think the Titan is the best value full-size pickup truck that's out there right now. I do. You get a V8 standard. You're getting a lot of power with that thing. You're getting an honest truck. Once again, they don't put a lot of crawl control, weird features. This is what we're seeing here is their Pro 4X version. You're getting a rear locker in that thing. It's about as off-roady as they get.
Have they gotten rid of hill descent?
No, you still have all that. That's it. That all issues.
Well, I was going to say, because I know that was an issue early on.
Yeah, early on in that second
feature
gen of this, yeah, there were some issues with that. But I think you'd get an honest pickup truck with this. The only thing I don't like that they're doing from the factory is these tires. These I forget their General AT2s or something like that. I would like to see in your most off-road worthy pickup truck.
They're very street.
Just something a little aggressive looking. These are not aggressive tires by any means, but they play a fuel economy. There's a fuel economy game with this, and we didn't get the numbers we did without probably these tires. You put something like a KO2 on this thing, something a little bit heavier, and
you're going to lose a little.
You're going to lose a little bit. But I think they did a good job. The wheels on the thing looks great. As you can see here, you start at $29,000 for a
which in this market, I mean, at this day and age is like crazy.
Yeah. I do remember though when you could get one for $18,000, and that was only a couple years ago.
Yeah.
You could get a 4-cylinder version of this thing, but they've streamlined it. They were like, no, we're doing a truck. This is the truck we're doing. If people want to buy it, buy it. I think Nissan is they're not in a position to take chances like maybe Ford does with the next Ranger. Rumor has it though, there's still a chance that we might see a Nismo version of this thing, which would be a Raptor fighter. Something in the lines of the I don't know if you guys remember the Titan Warrior, that concept that debuted at the Chicago Auto Show. I think there's still a chance that we might get something like that. Nismo's been pushing hard to do truck things, which is, they're known for their racing. They're known for the Z community. But Nissan would really like to start pushing more and more into that. I think some friends over at Nismo USA that we do know, they know the market a little better than some people they've had in the past. So I'm happy to see this truck. I think it's a lot of truck for a good price. I think this I think it was right at $49K is what we priced out the tester we had for the Pro 4X version. And I think you can get it.
It's 42 or 46. I can't remember. Okay.
But I think you can get it 39. I think would get you a nice pickup truck. And the way midsize are going right now, that's pretty crazy. What was some faults of this truck that when we tested it?
You're putting me on the spot.
I know. I love to do it.
I'm trying to think. Really just like we talked about, like they missed the bar because we drove a Pro 4X. So they missed the bar on like some of the more branding of the Pro 4X, like we talked about, is like it was in the seat, but it wasn't in the back seat. It's like it sounds silly. There's a fine line between enough and not enough. Yeah. And there was definitely not enough of that, because if you're paying for a Pro 4X, you're paying for
that's their upper
you want to show it.
Yeah.
I did like the seating in it. I mean, we know that the seating is super comfortable, so I did like that.
A good seat.
They always have a really great zero gravity seaters, whatever they call it.
One of the faults in their lower that I'll ding them for in the lower trims is they're still using halogen lights.
Oh.
It's used to get an ugly yellow light. Now what we had up there was the LEDs, but
it was loaded.
There's some other brands that are still kind of doing that as well. So let's see. Next up are the twins. You've seen, we'll pull the GMC up, which is the most recent of all the trucks that have kind of debuted. I think the GMC, honestly, this and the Colorado are probably my two favorite designs of midsize trucks right now. They're masculine, like a truck should be. I don't want too feminine of a truck. Even I think as the ladies, they want a tough truck. They want something that kind of
get over it.
But I think that people, you want your personality to reflect kind of what you're driving a little bit. And I see a lot of women now in pickup trucks and in off-road SUVs, which I think is kick ass. And I think these vehicles right here, man, really look great. Now they're going to do an AT4X version, which is goofily priced. Let's be honest. You get one engine option in this thing. You're going to get a 2.7 4-cylinder. It's going to be turbocharged. And depending on what tune they put in it is the horsepower. Now you can get up to, I'm blanket on this one. I forget what it was, right at 310 or so horsepower in this thing, which is honestly the last V6 version they had was like 307. So you're getting a lot less and not getting any more the way I feel horsepower wise. Estimated 310 horsepower. Okay, which would put them in competition with Nissan. Now the torque would be ridiculous compared to what Nissan's doing. But once again, you're getting all that torque due to a turbocharged engine. And I think it's at around 5,000 RPMs where that torque hits too. So you're getting in that motor just a little bit to get that maximum torque. Kelly, we've not really talked about these trucks too much. Where are you at with the GMC? What are you seeing right now that you like and what you don't like?
I'll be honest. I actually really, of course I do. I like the expensive one. I dig the AT4X with the Edition 1 package. I feel like it competes with the Raptor. Or what the potential of what we're going to see. I will say it looks really big. So I'd have to see it in person because we haven't, unfortunately, gotten too much of a chance to see the GMs in person.
The current Colorados and Canyons do feel a little bit wider than I would say like the Rangers that are.
And the wide isn't the problem for me. I think just overall it looks very full size to me from pictures and everything else. And I think it's a beast. I really like it.
It's a beast though in the AT4X that should have had a V6 in this thing.
Yeah, I would agree.
It just should.
Or even give me a V8. I'll take it.
Yeah, well, good luck there. But why you're starting to see the midsize go away from V6 is they're trying to get rid of cylinders for emissions. There's such strict, standards on these things now that if you can do away with a cylinder, turbocharge the engine and still get the same output, that's what you got to do. I love the X pattern on the grills. I think that looks great.
I think and if you look at the lights, they're very Camaro-esque. If you think about it, they're bringing a little bit in from
now you're
across
getting
the line.
That somewhat of that C like the Ranger has, which has been between the F-150 and GMC already. They both, I don't know who came up with it first, but they both kind of had that look.
Well, I think they're having to figure out how they make the vision better at night. That's the way they do it. Just that top piece, you need that extra vision kind of going down the road.
Now, I'm not big. I like that you can get a winch there from the factory. I don't like how I guess it looks better than what Bronco did, but I don't like their.
At least it's tucked a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean that's only for crash, crash and safety and pedestrian stuff. They would ideally there's no reason to do that like that. But it's a lot of truck, man. And if I remember, you're in the 60,000 range for that truck.
Ooh, buddy.
Yeah, ooh, buddy is right because that's a lot of meatballs, man. Now there
versus the Tacoma TR Pro.
Yeah, let's compare specs. Because this is going to be very. Remember, I told y'all Toyota is very tech. They're very low tech right now. Front and rear underbody cameras, which this is a GM thing that they act like this is the most off-road thing ever. It's by the skid
I do
plate.
think it's pretty cool.
It's cool, but I don't know. I like a front camera. I mean, I guess you can never have too much line of sight when you're off-road.
Yeah, it would be really nice in some when like we don't go by ourselves, but it would be nice in some of those like where it's a really difficult trail and somebody's gotten way far ahead of you and you're like, I need to make it through. It would be nice to have those under cameras. Yeah.
But I also think they're cherry picking. Of course, they don't have it. You're GM's the only people that do this right now. So class leading 11.3 diagonal touchscreen. Well, yeah, man, this thing's stuck in 1980. Of course,
it's not 1980.
Of course, it's a little bit lower. The heads-up display. Once again, this truck you're picking on the oldest truck out there. So
it's also
it's still
one of the best-selling trucks out there. So I mean, you really want to.
At the end of this, it should say, "Shit, we still can't outsell this thing." That's what it should sell. But I'm excited for this truck. Now let me pull up. Let me pull this way. I want to pull up the other twin, which is the probably the better selling. You would be amazed how many GMCs they don't sell. They might sell.
Which is weird to me because GMC always seems to be a little more aggressive to me.
So now here is the Chevrolet version. I pull this up here, and now I've got this is just a where we compare all their models. Once again, here's the 2.7, the entry level 2.7 with 237 horsepower, which is that's so underwhelming. And what's bad is it's the same everything. They just tune it. You're getting a very detuned engine, and I think that is ridiculous for a mid-sized truck now. I mean, I want to say Nissan's 4-cylinder they were putting in their last version was 180, 190 horsepower.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And that's an old truck. Now, you know where this is going to pay off is every parts stores. You see a lot of Chevys Advance and stuff for their parts running vehicles. Though you are starting to see Maverick. But I think that's kind of the target audience for this is your commercial fleet for that lower horsepower. But you can get, if you want to move up, you get the LT. Now, the Trail Boss, which is their hot truck right now. So hot. Yes, I know you're having part shortage. If this loads, we'll see it.
I think this is what it was doing when I tried to reserve the EV.
The Trail Boss was damn it. Out of all the videos I've done on these midsize trucks, this is the most popular video I have for midsize. Just people love that. I like that you're getting a blacked out grill a little bit. Would I like a body matching grill? Probably, but you're getting a lot of off-road features. Now you're not getting lockers and all the full fun of it, but you are getting some features that makes it pretty affordable. Now you can option to get to 310 horsepower. You're going to get that 8-speed automatic transmission. They only do one body style, much like Nissan. You get one body style and that's it. Don't ask for more because you're not getting it, which I think is the probably the future of what's going on with mid-size trucks. What? This website's acting stupid. But the ZR2 package here starting at $48,000. The ZR2 is interesting to me because for mid-size trucks, it was the king. Like you get front rear lockers in that thing. You're getting a lot of cool off-road stuff. We wheeled with one. One showed up at our Nissan event. One showed up. Was a very impressive vehicle. But 33-inch tires look tiny on it, which I think the Trail Boss has a 33. I think you can get with it. But I hate to say, like 35s with Ford with the Broncos push that look. People want a bigger looking truck, which contradicts fuel economy, of course.
265, 70, 17.
Okay, so it's a 32. But I think there's an optional you can get a 33 in it. But this is Chevrolet's offering. We're going to they're in production now. Like I said earlier, the press rides are.
What are we talking about?
I forget. I had it wrote down somewhere. I think it's February is when the press will start getting their hands on this, and you'll start seeing videos probably by the end of February. And I think they start going on sale around end of March, early April. So this will be the newest truck coming out, and it's pretty nice. Once again, I think the engine option for me is the weak point. What little that you know of that truck? What do you see? What do you out of both of the twins?
Overall, aesthetically, I like the GMC better. To be honest with you, it just looks more aggressive. It looks a little bit more up to date. Maybe it's the way the lights are. Honestly, I'm surprised it's as different as it is between, because growing up in a GM household, Dad always chose GMC just because he liked the look of the grill a little bit more, but they were exactly the same.
The old mid-90s S10 platforms and S15 platforms.
They were exactly the same, just a different.
The grill almost and everything was almost the same.
Well,
truck.
And honestly, my parents having built them, going down the line, they're like, literally, I would work on a GMC and then I would work on a Chevy. And like, I've often wondered why they do a GMC anymore. They don't sell a ton of. Only thing they sell more of is SUVs. Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, like I said, to be honest with you, I think the GMC looks a bit more aggressive than the Chevy does. I really like the Chevy full size Trail Boss, though. Yeah, we know how I feel about that. I'm a big fan of the Chevy.
We'll get into that maybe in a couple of weeks. We'll talk your love of the full size truck. But guys, in the comments, I'm gonna have to go through yours, or Kelly can go through them. But I'm curious where you guys are at with the mid-size trucks. Are you excited about it? I've said for a year now, 23 is going to be the year of the mid-size truck, man. All the full sizes. Ford has a new F-150 refresh coming out, basically headlights, taillights. I'm sure they'll tweak something in the interior a little bit, but nothing going to be outrageous. Chevrolet still, they're about due for a mid-cycle of the current Silverado. Ram is due for a mid-size, mid-cycle refresh on full size, but the little trucks are where it's going to be for 23. I think it's going to make all the headlines, and I for one cannot wait. I really do. I would like to get my hands on the ZR2 package so I can compare that to when the Raptor comes out. But I think for the ultimate midsize trucks like the Raptor and ZR2, I just don't think I don't think anybody's going to do enough to compete with the Ranger. I think the Ranger Raptor is going to have that. Like I said, it's going to be 400 horsepower plus. And Chevrolet there with their ultimate ZR2 package doesn't have anything come close. There's no way they can squeeze 400 horsepower out of that little 4-cylinder.
I think it's going to be a force to be reckoned with for sure.
Which one?
The Ranger Raptor.
Yes, I do too. I definitely think that I mean, the Ford, they've always battled well. And of course, we didn't even talk about the Gladiator, which is a mid-sized pickup truck.
Yeah.
Now, albeit it's kind of own quirky little thing, but it is a mid-sized truck. But I think it's coming up for a mid-cycle refresh too. I think we'll see some. I know for 24, there's been a lot of rumors that Jeep was going to step some of their tech up in those things. So I know.
Well, and we've talked about the interior of the Gladiator is the same as it is in the Jeep, the same as it is in everything else, and it really does need a refresh, a step up, because we even sat in the 392 and we sat in the 4xe, and they were exactly the same on the interior. Yeah. So for me, it definitely there needs to be some differences in it. I get the idea of having consistency, but definitely needs an upgrade.
What'd you pull up here, Kelly?
So Nurse AJ says, I'm a Ford girl by blood. Toyota is second to me, but I've always loved my Fords. I may be somewhat prissy and high maintenance, but I love cars. I get that from my dad. I'm kind of the same way, to be honest with you. Like, that's why we bought the BMW, because I was like, ooh, I want a BMW. And it was the dumbest decision I made to buy that car. But hey, I had fun in it for a minute, so it was like good. It was months. Hey, it was fun to drive.
That was it was
a great car to drive. But yeah, if I ever do a BMW, it's going to be a lease, is what I've been told.
Yes, I've told her, we will have BMW down the road, but we're going to lease it for a couple of years and then be done with it.
Let somebody else have it.
Let's see. What are some of the comments there, Kelly? What else we got going on there? Oh, Valley Dude wisely said, hit the like button. I greatly appreciate that. 27, about 35 people in this conversation. Only 27 likes.
Empajou says they could easily get 400 horsepowers out of a 2.7 4-banger, but why?
Yeah, but they can, but you're talking about reliability issues. I mean, as is, with the 3.0 that they're putting in the smaller Raptor, the word's not out on that thing. There was, what were they blowing? What was the issue they were having early on with the Ranger or the Bronco Raptors? A couple of them
was it blowing a valve?
I can't remember, but turbo engines, they gotta be, bulletproof to last. So we'll see. Let's see. Oh, we got royalty in the house. We got overlanding for fun in the house.
I saw that. Cigar Texan says, question, anyone going to the RTR event in DFW area on the 28th? And I know they kind of talked about it in the chat, but I wanted to bring it up just because he was asking that question. We will not be there. I can tell you that, because we won't be able to.
Auto show time too.
Yeah, because we leave the 8th of. Or are you talking about
I'm
Houston?
talking about for Houston Auto Show.
Yeah. Nurse AJ said, have you guys seen the redesign on the Prius? Not a truck, but I know it's a great little daily driver for a hybrid.
I have. It's a great. I didn't like the hype that was coming out about all the press. They were definitely fed a bunch of BS from Toyota at the release of. It's almost a sports car. It just almost no. If you look at it, it's a Prius. It's a small economy, hybrid. But I think the thing looks great. I like the fact that Toyota's not just building boring looking cars anymore, which was a big statement come out of their current CEO that stopped building boring cars. So I think it looks great. I haven't read up on it though too much to know the numbers that it's putting out. But I'm happy to see some excitement, because the Prius kind of got left behind. Once everybody
100%.
Once everybody started doing some hybrids, you kind of forgot about that. I remember one, not Golden Globes, but Oscars, where it was a big deal that Leo was coming in his Prius. But there was a lot of weird hype, celebrity hype about, it's the hybrid technology. It was new and exciting. And then that poor little car just started to get kind of got left behind.
Well, and what's funny is you still see a ton of them on the road, though.
Oh, definitely.
Like, especially in this area, we see them. I mean, I don't know if they're still on the road in a lot of other places, but yeah, we see a ton of them here. It's crazy.
Yep.
News just came out that Lisa Marie Presley died.
Did she pass
Sorry
away?
to hear that. I knew she had a heart attack earlier today, or they said. So I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that's
Another icon gone.
Yeah, quickly.
Yeah, very quickly.
Like something's going around about that.
54 years old. That's crazy.
Yeah. Let's see.
I have one start up there.
Okay, where are we at?
Oh,
you want me to?
I got it.
I see.
Cigar Texan says I'll never own a Chevy because Chevys leave me stranded. I had too many leaves.
You know what? Don't take it away. Don't take it away.
I'm not.
Cigar Texan in his little picture right here. Of course, it's not blown up. He looks like Mr. Beast there.
He does kind of look like Mr. Beast. Is Mr. Beast in the house?
Are you gonna start donating money like Mr. Beast does?
No, don't just hit the sales.
No, I love those old Mr. Beast videos where he would go into these Twitch streamers or
and just drop money.
There was this one guy that was just sleeping. He was in his bed sleeping, and that was his live stream. And Mr. Beast dropped like $5,000 in his stream. You see him, here's the ding of whatever his monetization ding was. And he's like, oh, thank you for that. And then he goes back to sleep and wakes up. Oh, is that 5,000? And then goes right back to sleep. And I'm like, but getting the reaction of the Mr. Beast thing was hilarious.
Right. Shocker Racing Garage says hasn't been to the Chicago Auto Show in a few years, but he might get a press pass. You totally should. Come on
out, man.
Yeah.
I will say this, and to all my any of my YouTube friends out there that want to hang out, Kelly knows I get to these things, and what am I?
He's an old man.
No, I'm all business.
He's an old man.
I'm there to hit some stories and move on, and after we'll hit the bar, guaranteed.
Yeah, you just got to get him. You can't let him go to the room for too long, because if he goes to the room for too long, he's done.
I'm going to have to figure out what's going on with this mic, because I'm talking in a pretty normal. I don't know.
You're not
a lot of comments here lately, and I've even cranked it up from the last live stream.
I've told you there's probably something with the cord.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Probably needs a new cord.
Yeah, you'd think a guy that was a musician could figure this stuff
out.
But I will use Michael. I will use my big boy voice here now. And,
He's actually really loud. He's kind of annoyingly loud, to be honest with you. I love you.
Damn, we sleep in the same bed.
We do. It's a king, so we're separated. Remember, we've got the separator pillow.
Damn right. Damn right.
No, I mean, so Nurse AJ, he's meaning like when we're at the show, like we are all business at the show is what he means. Like, because she's saying, I want to come into the city.
We'll come to the city. We'll be probably at whatever. What's our hotel?
We're staying at the Hilton Trio that's right there by McCormick Center. Yeah. There's like 3 hotels
the
there.
Bridge that takes us over to the McCormick Center. But there's a nice bar there. I will gladly hang out.
Is there? No, there's not at our hotel. Not at ours. Mm-hmm. There's not at our hotel, but there's one that's right next to the auto show that's there.
Wasn't it upstairs?
No, it was the hotel. It was attached to the.
That's right, to the McCormick Center.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So not at our hotel. Our hotel doesn't have a bar, and we're like, really?
A bar after work. I guarantee you, though, we will be tired from walking.
100%. So we will want to sit and drink. Yes. Is what we will want to do.
But anyway,
try pointing it more at you like Kelly's mic is, Dave.
It literally trust me, we have a new studio.
Nobody wants to see your face.
We have a new studio coming, and we're going to solve some problems, because I'm going to do an overhead mic, and then these mics go away. So then you won't have to deal with this like this. Remember when we used to share a mic though? Then people because it was a pretty hot mic, and people would be like, hey, because you'd be over there. And they'd be like, Kelly needs to speak up a little bit. We used to get a little bit of that with you.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I kind of remember that.
But,
yeah. Michael Nice doesn't want to hear from me. He said, switch with producer Kelly. Dang. Savage. I guess I can't win them all. It's okay.
Not always. What else we got? I know Cigar Texan said he was not a Chevrolet guy.
No, he was not.
He definitely has been let down by that brand. Newer wise, I can't seem to remember any that, knock on wood, that hasn't, we've had any major issues with. Now with our newer vehicles, we generally, you get 30,000 miles or so, we're probably moving on to something else. Remember that Bronco, people. I say that 30,000 miles, we'll move on to something else. And
we're at 16,000. It's not looking like it's going anywhere anytime soon.
She's not going to let me get rid of that one.
Not unless it starts doing weird things before 36,000.
You know, if Allie was here, she would know what that means.
They all know.
I know. Number one. What's the name of that Ford dealership?
Brighton Ford.
Brighton Ford. There you go. Get intimate with that mic. Here, how about now? I'll try that. Get out my spit all over it.
Took the sheath off.
I did. The sheath? The mic condom? Yes. Going raw dog with this one.
You're gonna get demonetized for that comment. Way to
Going
go.
Raw dog with this one. Thank you, Bishop, for that 469. That 469 was not a coincidence.
Michael Nice says, "No, Kelly, you are loud and proud, and you have a grade A mic." What's funny is he's really loud. He really is really loud.
Hold on. Let me do this.
Oh, you're gonna screw it up. You know, the last time you touched it,
I rewatched the last live stream, and I felt like it was distorting. Like I was so loud that it was distorting. But we'll figure that problem out. Like I said, we got a couple months. We moved to Casa de Boyd Senior. And
moving back in with the parent.
Yeah, this house is going up for lease. Too much money out there right now.
Either Airbnb or lease.
Yep.
I haven't decided.
But then it frees up money for more honestly, for a lot more vehicles to enter the driveway.
Warning, I've been given the leeway that if we move over there and we're successful with this house, that I get to quit my day job and get a different one.
Why are we whispering?
I don't know. Because I want it still to come to fruition, so I don't want to tell the universe too much for it to mess it up.
So whispering?
Yes.
Okay. I got you. That 69 was no accident. Hey, buddy, you better buckle up, sir, with that 69. I will say, though, midsize trucks, as we wind that one down.
Yeah.
I'm itching. Like, I work at this desk every day. I see that damn Ranger Raptor over here, or one of these screens. I have 3 screens here. On one of these screens, it's open so I can look at it, and I'm very excited. I don't know that it's going to be a complete off-road vehicle like I normally like. You know, it's more of a desert runner, high speed, but that just means chance for tickets, right?
Yep, we're getting yelled at.
Yeah,
by the police.
Yep,
at press trips.
Right.
You got to end that poll thingy.
Oh yeah, thank you, Kelly.
You're welcome.
So we did a poll, and I'll let Kelly read it because I don't know that you know what I
don't even know what you asked. All right. So which mid-size truck are you interested in 2023? 62% said Ford Ranger. 25% said Chevy GMC Colorado Canyon, 25%, Nissan Frontier 7%, and 3% for Toyota Tacoma.
Tacoma?
Shut up.
Now we do have a pretty heavy Ford audience, so I would
be curious though. I have a follow-up question to that. So obviously you probably did this before we reviewed them. You know what I'm going to ask? No,
that's why you're going to type it real quick. So, because I'm curious, we need the numbers, we need the stats, we got to know what people are thinking. Having driven most of the current midsize trucks, Chevrolet for me does interest me a lot. If it had a V6, I may be swayed by the ZR2. I just maybe if they did a high output V6, but unfortunately they did not do that. And let's see what she's asking. She's changing up on you guys. If you're new to the show, once again, my name is David Boyd, Kelly Boyd Press here. With a messy background, as Kelly leans over, you can see my where we're tearing our house apart. But we like to do crazy things. We're enthusiasts of the Ford Bronco currently. We're having a lot of fun with that. We're going to put some rock sliders on that thing this weekend. We went from 65 today to tonight's going to be in the 20s.
Yeah. So
I've got to go crank the old jet heater out there up and get some rock sliders on this weekend.
Yeah,
I want to get that on for one thing. I want to see what the truck looks like. But I'm excited to go work. I haven't got to wrench on anything in a while, so I'm kind of excited to mod. I did put lights on the Bronco, so we put some ditch lights on the Bronco, but I haven't wired them up yet.
We put a new pole up, so if you will go ahead and participate in the poll. Give us a couple minutes to do that to see if now I'm looking for 50 votes, people, even though we don't have 50 people in here.
We might be here a while.
We have 35 in here, but maybe we can get to 50 votes before we end the poll. But
also happy hour. We're trying to keep this a little bit shorter of a show too, just so you guys know.
Michael Nice, does it mean when Dave blinks twice?
Ranger Raptor. I love the other night somebody was hitting Allie up for that. It's like, oh, she blinked. That means this, right? That was hilarious to me.
And if you're joining us tonight too for the first time and you are not a subscriber and you want to chat, you do have to subscribe to chat.
Yep. And depending on how that goes, we might move that over to Bronco Talk too. We gotta get them subscribers up, man.
Yeah.
We need your interest in there a little bit. And these polls, like we do here in talking about mid-sized trucks, definitely is going to influence over the next year or so where we take the show. So, Kelly, looks like you're 50 votes. Look at that, 50 votes, Kelly.
That's the first.
Oh wait,
one.
that's complete one. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, dude.
I was like, how did that get 50 votes so quickly?
So Nurse AJ said Subaru.
Okay. The Subaru's going to have a good booth. We know they're going to have a good booth.
Yeah, they always have a really good booth.
Nurse AJ, have you attended the Chicago Auto Show?
She's trying to get Gia to go, so they can go.
Gia.
Now you won't be able to go when we go because we only go during the press side of things. But
it's
definitely worth Chicago.
It's definitely worth going. You can take the train over from Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
That would be fun. Mm-hmm. Probably a little slow, but it'd be fun.
Yeah, a lot of people take it from Detroit to Chicago.
Yeah. I'd like to do that sometime. I've never got to ride a train. I've done obviously Epcot. You're riding the rails of Disney.
She's only 45 minutes from the city anyway.
Let's see. Poll's going to end in just a minute. Oh, you're up to 12 votes, Kelly, out of 35 people.
Get in there and vote, people. Get in there and vote.
Let's see. Any final questions, comments?
I was trying to see what all Nurse AJ saw because I didn't pin it earlier. And Terrence says he's still waiting on his Bronco.
Where was Terrence at with his Bronco? I remember he got a production.
It was built. He's still waiting for it to finish, or it's finishing to be built.
So chip issue.
So it's in production.
Yeah, it's a chip shortage.
I'm
seeing people getting. I did a story on this last year with the Bronco of people in April getting 21s. You know you're going to see that again with the 22s.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly. But getting it doesn't matter what year it is. There's no updates really.
Nurse AJ said the Platinum is getting her all fuzzy inside.
Who said that? Nurse AJ?
Nurse AJ.
Crazy girl. You're crazy.
And Johnny agrees with me. Testing in smaller markets definitely ends up being the result.
Yeah. But next week we're going to do this, and in I think 2 weeks I've got their sticker here. We're going to bring some more interviews in, some more YouTubers, and these people are crazy. I like. It took me a minute to get them. I talked to Kelly about it. I don't get it, and I kept watching their videos and was like, okay, they're just fun. They're just kind of like crazy as we are, just more out there. But Down South Off Road. This is their sticker, so I'm just gonna leave it there. It says Camp Naked. Which that's their weird slogan, but we're going to bring those guys on here. I want to talk to them. I think you'll like, they're fun. They're fairly local to us. So maybe this summer we can do some off-roading with them. They've been to Windrock and stuff. And I'm curious, guys, always in your social medias, if there's somebody in the automotive world you want us to talk to, I don't care if they're overlanders, off-roaders, use their vehicle for their farm.
Honestly, even car people, because we love us some cars. The cars just don't do well on the channel.
Yeah. But link us to them or link them to us, and let's figure this thing out together, because obviously we'll have people like Tim Esterthal back on. We're gonna have some of our press friends on the show, but I want to talk to new people, and of course we'll have some classics on here as well.
Zachary Rogers asked, do you think the non-Raptors will get a V6?
Yes. I think you will see the 2.7 in those. In Europe or in Australia, they're getting a 3.0, as I mentioned earlier. That's a more common engine in Indonesian area, I guess. I don't know the reasonings behind that, but I do think we're going to get two options.
Wonder if it's the temperature, like the environment.
Well, normally they do a lot of diesels, but diesel is kind of going out of, especially in Europe. People don't like diesels anymore. They're too dirty. So they're having to go. Big thing in Australia. The last Raptor version for the Ranger was a diesel, which is strange to me. But yeah, so the petrol thing for them.
They need longer range too, I would think, because of the different.
Yeah, but for petrol fuel that we use, that's
you just
kind
wanted
of
to say petrol.
No, that's just because of what they
you
call
wanted
it.
to be fancy.
Are those Trojans? I don't know. You'll have to ask them when they get on the show. I think you'll have fun with them, though.
Nurse AJ says she wants to see Ford Ranger, Toyota Tacoma, and Subaru.
Subaru
from the
what?
Auto show. From the auto show. Just in general.
Just Subaru in general?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get a new dog tag. Our dog literally has a dog tag on him from Subaru.
Yeah. And we've only driven one Subaru.
We have one of my favorite pictures is from Toyota's booth. They had like a little photo booth. Remember we got into?
No, that was Toyota. Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought you said.
I remember the Tremor coming out for the F-250 back in Chicago when we were there. That was kind of fun, even though it still had their weird tiny ass screen in it.
They released the Godzilla. No, that was SEMA. Never mind. I'm confusing my shows.
Yeah. Which we plan on doing SEMA again this year.
Mm-hmm.
So any of our West Coast friends out there. All right, Kelly, let's end this poll and let's wind this puppy down.
All right, 13 votes, last chance. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. There you go.
All right. So about the same.
No, what was your question?
So let's see. Let me look. So after we've reviewed the trucks with you tonight, how do you stand with the interest for 2023? So essentially I was asking you if we changed your mind. But unfortunately, since we didn't get 50, it's not a true consistent. But Ford Ranger still 69%.
Yeah.
Frontier 23%, Toyota Tacoma 7%, and Chevy GMC Colorado Canyon 0%. So out of those 13 votes, nobody said.
You guys are not doing me any favors with GM. Let me just tell you, they watch these things, trust me. And show a little love. You guys like what you like. I don't care. So let's see. I'm looking for
Nurse AJ loves the stickers.
Oh yeah, they're funny, man. These go seriously. Go check them out. Down South Off Road. Here I'll put a link up because you're gonna. Well,
I'll warn you. Give them a couple of episodes or shows.
Some of you will like them probably for different reasons, which is all right.
Can't you search it here?
That's what I meant to do.
Some of the things you've searched there, sir.
Stay on my search history, girl. All right. But very Southern, very fun. All right. But I think in 2 weeks is when they come up on the show because they're actually out exploring Florida right now.
Nice.
They're on an overland trip right now. But I think they'll be fun to talk to, and anybody that puts funny stuff like that on the sticker to hand out. They sent me stickers too. Didn't know that was coming, so we had to send them a care package.
Yeah, I went to the post office and I was like, "Oh, there's actually something in there," and it was the stickers. I was like, "That's cool."
Yeah.
So
there you go, guys. So that is a show tonight. I want to say thank you to everybody for participating once again. If you want to participate in this, you need to be a subscriber. So if you smash that subscribe button, you will get access to chat with us. That's all we ask. If you're interested in supporting the show, we do have membership here. We have a Patreon as well. It's all in the descriptions below. We do greatly appreciate the couple super chats we had tonight. They do mean more than you realize. So whether it be 2-wheel drive,
4-wheel drive,
it doesn't really matter what you drive tonight, Kelly.
Yeah, and happy hours. But tonight we're talking mid-sized trucks. So check it out.
That's right. Peace, everybody. Love y'all.
See ya.